Our lives are always marked by certain highlights, and science, and particularly medical science, is no different. One reads about the excitement when Banting and his colleagues discovered insulin, and very soon, within months, it was used to treat patients in a desperate situation. But I'm going to submit that what happened 50 years ago will be, in the long run, at least an equal landmark. On February 7th, 1961, Ernest McCulloch and James Till had a paper published in Radiation Research called, in an obscure title, A Direct Measurement of the Radiation Sensitivity of Normal Mouse Bone Marrow Cells. They had injected into the spleen of irradiated mice bone marrow cells and noticed in a few days colonies on the surface of the spleen, which in the longer run turned out to be clones of stem cells. And that's how it started. That's why I say it should be a landmark. And this paper was republished again on February 7th, 50 years later, and was celebrated at the Princess Margaret Hospital in honor of Ernest McCulloch and James Till. They were a unique pair, a clinical hematologist and a physicist. And it shows, again, the value of working from different vantage points, different scientific thinking to try and solve a problem. And soon they took what they learned about stem cells into better understanding of blood formation, cell biology, and leukemia. Lou Siminovich here, was part of the group for a period of time. I'm grateful for my predecessors at the Gairdner Foundation who'd like to spot people early, who in 1969 honored McCulloch and Till and said, in recognition of their development of the spleen colony technique, which later was found to be stem cells, for measuring the capacity of primitive, normal, and neoplastic cells to multiply and differentiate in the body. Now, sadly, on January 20th, Ernest, or Bun McCulloch, as he was more commonly known, passed away just before this 50th anniversary. But there has been an outpouring of warm, appropriate tributes to him, and with him to Jim Till, for this historical accomplishment. We were all deeply saddened when Bun passed away, a man who was modest in the extreme. However, their inspirational science has had a lasting impact. And as we can know, in our own city, in our province, in our country, there is a momentum to stem cell science of any kind, relating to the brain, to the heart, to the skin, and so on. And this has led to our better understanding of the biology of our cells and tissues, to understanding of disease, and has given hope as how to be, as it were, resurrected from those diseases in the future. And that's where the interplay between basic science, clinical science labs, and you people here who represent innovation and production of new technologies and methodologies and treatments comes to fore. Now, they were slow to be recognized. They were slow to be honored. But over the years, this eventually developed. They became Fellows of the Royal Society in the UK. In the mid-90s, the Order of Canada. Later, the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame. And in 2005, the Lasker Award for Basic Science Research. Many here and elsewhere felt that Stockholm wasn't listening. But as my friend Joe Goldstein wrote to me this week, he said, they truly should have been honored. They opened a new field out of the blue. So their work is not forgotten. Their work, in fact, is at the very forefront of science today. We know the strength of stem cell research in this city and province and across the country. And we know that its application will be powerful in the long run. I'd like to suggest that we must take every step to own the stem cell podium in every dimension. 90 years ago, when insulin was discovered and desperate patients treated, recognition was rapidly established. We must do it again. On the 50th anniversary and thereafter, when we remember the discovery of stem cells, and use this as a moment and as a time to create a new crescendo in the field of stem cells here and across our land. I'd like to ask you to do two things. Take your glass and rise. I'd like you to pause to reflect on the memory of Ernest McCulloch, and then I'd like you to tip your glass to Ernest McCulloch and Jim Till and the stem cell group here in Toronto, and to the future, the exciting future that this will bring to our city, our province, and our land. Thank you very much.